Hey guys, welcome to today's vlog. It's gonna be a little bit of a sit down style again, and there will be a little bit of from last week. So when we filmed last week, we filmed enough to do 3 different videos, which was our story to becoming a family. Spina bifida, different things about spina bifida, and then a little bit of just adoption itself. And so that's what this video is going to be about, and will be kind of that last segment from the previous sit down with Nels and I. But I just wanted to get on here and kind of explain that. So here is the video. The rest of that
need to talk about is we've been blessed for each of our adoptions to have an open adoption.
Mm-hmm.
And at first I was like, no, I don't want anything to do with an open adoption. It's not worth having that somebody else coming into my life. I don't need it, type thing. And so I was really quite against that. But Sarah was really, when we first talked about and tried to move forward with adoption, Sarah was really doing a lot of research and active in social media and things like that. And there kept being things that pop up about
open
adoptions
and it's
everything.
Scary to think about because there's all these myths and misunderstandings of open adoption. But then we went to a birth parent panel, and all our fears, everything that was holding us back, just vanished, and we knew our adoptions needed to be open. And that's been the best thing for us and our family. Our kids know where they come from. They know they're loved by their birth parents, and that they are cherished by them.
Yeah, it's critical that it's open, because it creates healing for everybody all the way around, for the birth parents, for us, for the child. The communication is open. If you start to close off that communication, that's what we learned, that if you close off the communication, you don't know what kind of feelings are being hid or buried or not expressed. And so you have to have that open communication and talk about it so you can resolve any issues as they come up. It's critical, and that's what we found. And so it's beneficial for everybody, and we've loved it. And the thing that with an open adoption is we try to keep open with the birth parents as much as possible and communicate with them. There's been times that they've said, you know what, I need to take some time and back off for a little bit and not have as much communication. And we're grateful that they will say that, and then when they're ready,
they know we'll take them in with open arms and be so excited to continue that relationship.
And kind of the philosophy that we have gone with is it doesn't hurt the child to be loved by more people. The more people that love a child,
and for them to feel that
love, never has ever hurt anybody. And to have more people that are family to surround them and support them and to pick them up just gives them more reason to succeed
and to keep going.
And that's the kind of the philosophy that we live by. That the more that you have that love you, the better it is. And that's how it is. Open adoption is the only way that we feel like that we could go.
Mm-hmm. So don't be scared of open adoption if that's the route if adoption is the route that you feel like you need to go through to grow your family, because it's beautiful. It can be messy, can be hard, but it's so worth it.
Yeah, it's hard. It's to keep in touch and to keep in communication and everything.
Keep up with life.
But it's hard. Sarah does a great job of, making sure, oh, hey, we haven't contacted them for a little bit. It's been a couple weeks, maybe we need to send them something. Sarah's really good at that. And keeping those communication open. So I'm grateful for that because I'm terrible at keeping up on things like that. So, Levi's birth mom, I just found out that she was pregnant.
Just recently.
Yeah.
From that time.
Yeah, and the situation she was in was not good. And she knew that. And so we had almost 8 months to
plan and get things ready, and also feel heartbreak for her.
We didn't know what to do with ourselves for that amount of time.
It was hard. But my heart broke for her, and it still does. Because it was just a struggle for her to place Levi in the first place. She, a birth mom doesn't place their child because they don't love them. They place them because they love them so much. And if they're in a situation that they know that wouldn't be good, that their love is what's protecting them. And my heart broke because I didn't want her heart to break again.
That's probably the hardest thing with adoption, at least I feel, is that point when birth mom is in the hospital. She's just given birth, and you're there, and she says, okay, it's time for you to leave the hospital, and time for me to leave the hospital, and you're going to take the baby with you. And to see that, her courage, every time that we've been through this, the courage that the birth mom goes through to place that child in our, and have faith that we'll do our best for that child, is a heavy load on our shoulders, and the weight of that is extremely difficult, because you have all the hopes and dreams of that birth parent placed on you at that point, it feels like to me. And so that's kind of a really very sad and tender time.
Mm-hmm. All right, so in the video, we mentioned about the heartbreak for adoption and how my heart broke for Della and Levi's birth mom. And Nels kind of went in general about how hard adoption is. And so I just kind of wanted to go just a little bit more into detail about it. So, adoption is born from loss. The adopted child loses being raised by their biological family and that culture that they would have been brought up in, because every family has its own different culture. And the birth parents lose the child to raise. Even though they chose to place, they lose that part of them to be able to raise their child that they were able to make. A lot of couples adopt because of infertility and not being able to have biological children. So that there is a loss for the adoptive parents, is they have to grieve the loss of what they thought their family would be, being able to get pregnant and, have a child of their own biological genetics, and they have to lose that dream of that, and that's really hard. But I mainly wanted to talk about how the heartbreak of our heartbreak and birth parent heartbreak, how they kind of coincide, I don't know how to explain it, but anyways, so with Jackson's birth, it was a whirlwind. It was our first child. Adoption was still really new to us. We were less than well, it was close to about a year when we had first started the adoption process. But it was just whirlwind, and we were in the hospital for almost 2 weeks, and so we got to see his birth mom off and on, and we did prior to leaving the state he was in before coming home. We saw her after discharge and everything, but it was just a whirlwind of learning everything, the excitement of becoming parents and all that, and trying to figure out how this relationship is going to work, because in open adoption it is a relationship, and you have to figure out how that relationship's going to work and everything. So when it was discharge day, we all of us were trying so hard to hold back our feelings. So Jackson's birth mom came, and we all dressed him, Nels, me, and her. We all dressed him to get ready and got footprints done for all of us and to have and all that. And then it was time to leave, and you could see her trying to fight back tears, and Nels and I were trying to fight back tears. And we said, hey, let's meet up in a day or two, and so forth. And so we did. We said our goodbyes, and Nels and I got into our car, our rental car, and both just started crying. And so that was the first time that my heart broke with this adoption journey of ours, and it broke for his birth mom, and it's really hard to explain unless you go through it. It's such a bittersweet thing, because we're happy. We're so happy because we are, we have a baby. But that comes at a loss for the birth parent, because they go home empty-handed. They go to the hospital pregnant, and then they leave empty-handed. And so that was my first taste of having that torment in my heart. So when Nels and I were talking, when I said how my heart was breaking for Levi's birth mom when she told us that she was pregnant with Della, because of her heart breaking again. You just feel all these emotions. And it's really hard to explain. And people wonder, well, why are you feeling such anxiety? Because I had anxiety leading up to Della's birth. why would you have anxiety? Like, why would you feel so sad? Like, why do you have all these conflicting emotions? And they don't understand. You know, those who don't adopt, they don't understand. And it's like, it's just so conflicting. And but I feel like this message needs to be out there. Like, there's videos of like all these happy couples adopting their baby, getting a baby or a child or whatever. If it's like a domestic infant adoption or an international adoption, and even foster care, like, oh, they're, you know, so happy, but at the same time it's so sad because, I mean, I can't speak for others, but I know there are others who have adopted that, you know, it's such a sad situation. And November is adoption, it's National Adoption Month, and so I felt like to start it off, I wanted this video to show kind of a little glimpse, a little bit of truth of that heartbreak. And I want others to know who are going through this as well, or even are thinking about going through the adoption process, that it's okay to feel these mixed emotions. It's okay to feel sad and hurt for the birth parents. And it's okay to still be happy. But just know those two emotions will go together, and you have to like really figure it out. You have to like, and it's okay to feel both. And I want you to be able to feel both if you're going through this, and or want to go through the adoption process. I just want a little bit of that reality there. I don't want any like sugarcoating about adoption. And yes, relatively it was easy for us and quick for us to adopt. We were blessed that way. That doesn't always happen. The majority of that doesn't happen. But those feelings are real and true and raw, and it's okay to feel that. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video and what you've learned, give it a thumbs up, and then subscribe. Hit that subscribe button and the notification button so that when we upload next, you'll be able to get that notification. We hope you have a great day. Bye.